My name is Kenneth, and I'm a CTO. I currently work as a senior dev with Inventory Limited in the UK, and that's what I've been doing since I got into the UK. Yeah, I've been a software developer, a front-end developer. I've been an enterprise architect. I'm a full stack developer. So I major in Microsoft technologies. So everything Microsoft, that's what I basically do in terms of DevOps, in terms of the technology like ASP.NET and all of that. That's basically what I do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I've been working as a software developer for many years, and I felt I was very, very much ripe for the global talent visa in terms of my skill, my experience, and everything. So I have tried getting this global talent visa myself, like trying to put all my documents together and all of that, and that didn't work out. But fortunately for me, I reached out to a friend who explained that that's what you guys do, and I was glad I reached out that day. And at the end of the day, it's been a success story, obviously, because I was able to get the correct guidance, which I think I was missing in terms of understanding the requirement for technician visa. I think that was just the key thing missing for me. And then that was where you guys came in and made me understood that this is how my document should be. These are the kind of evidences I should present and all of that. That guidance was very important. Then at the end of the day, we are where we are today. The challenge for me personally was my documentation, like my evidences. So I had all of these evidences, but I didn't even know how to present them, and I didn't even know which ones were relevant. So I know I've been the one doing all of this. I've been the one doing this. I have this experience. How do I write them? How do I document them? Like, how do I put it into a format where technician will accept, and a format where would explain everything that I've done, and technician will be able to see like, oh, this person is an exceptional talent. So that was my key challenge in terms of providing those documents. So everything I provided that was used, I had all of them in my disposal, but I didn't even know I was going to use it. I didn't know I could even use it, or how to use them. So which was where you came in and then explain all of those things. Get this. I mean, I remember those conversations. I need these screenshots. Give me this screenshot. They're already there. I've always had them, but I didn't know I was going to use them. Oh, I mean, it was a very good experience because you didn't ask me for what I didn't have. You asked if I can provide this, and I had them. So it wasn't a challenge, and this was something that I wanted to do, and I was sure I had to put my mind 100% in it. So if you, based on your experience, you are coming to me and tell me you need screenshot of maybe sales, you need screenshot of things that I've done in the past, you need screenshot of my dashboard and all of that, and I had all of these things. These are things I did not put in my previous applications. And then I went, took screenshot of all of these things and sent to you. So if those are the things that will make my application positive or come out better, why not? I gave it a shot, and I wasn't tired of releasing evidences, which at the end of the day truly helped the application process. I mean, that session was very important in the sense that you needed to understand my background. You needed to understand the kind of things that I do, what I've done in the past, and all of that. So that session was very important, so that you would even be able to tell, is this person actually an exceptional talent, or does this person meet that requirement? And on that call, I remember you telling me, yeah, that you were 100% sure that I met that requirement and I was going to get this. And at the end of the day, yeah, I did get it. I mean, the storytelling part was in the personal statement, and it was a journey in terms of following that requirement, that standard of writing a personal statement that technician wanted. So that storytelling from my background, things that I've done, my plans, and all of that, that was the key moment. I mean, in fact, that was like the crucial part of the whole application, because I later understood that what technician wanted to understand is they want that story about your life your experience, and your plans. So which was what was all put in that personal statement. So everything was about me, and I knew all of this. So that was where that preliminary, the first interview happened, and that was where everything was spelled out in terms of what I've done in the past. And you took all of those things I said, and you were like, okay, you are going to write out all of these things. So, which is what I think is the struggle for a lot of people, or the issue with a lot of people. People have done a lot of stuff, but how do you tell this story? How do you put it out there for people to know that this is what you've done? And that's just one of the beautiful things that you ended up doing. And yeah. So for impact, it was more of the product that I've built over the years, what impact they have in the world generally, or in the business as well. So coming up with that story, it has to do with maybe numbers. And surprisingly, all of these numbers were there in my first and second application, but I didn't even use them. So it was in this one, and then you came up and you said, this is what they want to see. This is what needs to be in the application. And I started getting screenshots of all those numbers that made those impact in terms of how many customers have we been able to reach out to, how many customers have we been able to acquire, what is like the growth in terms of when this thing was done and where it is now. So all of those numbers, I was able to gather all of them and provided them to you, and then we used it. There were a lot. There were a lot. So, and that is the issue with trying to do things yourself. So all of these things were there all this while, just like I said, they've been there all this while. But how do I present them? That has always been the challenge. So, and when we had that call, and when you kept on explaining the kind of things that I should come up with, I should get, the kind of information I should provide, then I started looking at those products. I think you got to a point where you were like saying, this is enough. The difference between this application and the previous one was the fact that all of those products that I presented in this one, I didn't present them in the previous ones. And they've always been there. So that is where that guide comes, where somebody tells you these are the things that you need to present. And that was how I was able to get all those products, get the screenshots, get the numbers in terms of, and the process of development in terms of how those products went into market, the impact that they've had in the country and outside the country, and all of that. So for me, that process was a very fantastic one. You know, for the submission, I remember when I filled that form, and then I asked, should I submit? And they said, yeah, I should go ahead, submit. And you were very confident that this was going to be positive. And I went ahead, I submitted. No problem. And I can't even, it's not possible for me to even forget what happened the day I got reached by Home Office about the application being successful. I was driving from my daughter's school. I went to pick her up that afternoon. That was around 3:05 p.m. And then I was on a bridge in the traffic, and then I saw a mail, and then I stepped aside, moved to, once I knew it was UKVI mail. In fact, the title of the mail was application status update. So I saw the mail, I knew this was from UKVI, and that was the only application I had. I packed, moved to one side, and then I opened the mail. And I didn't even bother reading the first part because I'm familiar with that mail. So I just went straight to Home Office, sent your document to technician, they provided feedback. And then next thing I saw, they've advised that you meet the requirement. And then I started screaming. My daughter was asking me, what happened? What happened? I was screaming on the phone and screaming, looking at that mail. In fact, even after that day, even after I got my visa itself, I've read that mail more than 5 times because that mail was satisfying. Like the way the mail was written and everything, my reaction was priceless. And my reaction is not something that it's not possible I can forget all this thing, because I remember how everything happened in terms of where I was that day, the time I got that mail, everything. I knew I was able to relate with all of these things because these are things that happened when I was going to pick my daughter. I was on the bridge and then I saw the mail and then I knew everything that happened. In fact, I mean, it was an overwhelming day for me. I was very happy that day. Yeah. Okay. I mean, the switch was very easy. I had to just apply, and then I said I've gotten an endorsement, and I was able to. So I was fortunate anyway because I switched before the new immigration rule about not people not being eligible to switch from student visa to another visa until they complete their studies. So I was fortunate that period. I was able to switch within then, and fortunately for me as well, that was even a period I was already starting my project. So I was already done with school somehow. So, okay, no, I did my final exams. Then I was going to start my project within that period. And then, yeah, I was able to easily switch the visa, then balance it in terms of going to school. And I was just doing all of that. Then when I got my actual visa, it took me less than a month to get a job. I mean, I think I got my interview. It was just one interview anyway. I just got an interview. Then the process was not too long, maybe 2, 3 days. Then I got a job, and then I resumed like the next month, and then that was it. I mean, the visa gave me a job within less than a month anyway. Yeah, so the visa, since I came in on a student visa for me, at that point, I remember having one conversation with you when I was saying, okay, should I wait, get a master's, and then do the switch? And then you advised, no, that based on my experience, that I don't need to wait for an educational qualification to provide some evidence of saying somebody is innovative or somebody is very brilliant or something. Then you advise that we do that switch before the student visa expires. And it was I mean, these were decisions that I made that I'm going to live to remember them for good anyway. So yeah. 100%. Yeah, 100%. Because there is no such thing as being comfortable where you are and then people become very okay with that. I don't believe in that ideology where you are comfortable. So for instance, I have grown to the level of a CTO back home, and that was a lot of comfort. That was like a huge comfort. It was enough for me to like say, oh yeah, I've arrived and that's the height. But I knew it deep within me that that's not the height. Even where I am today is not the height. So people needs to keep aspiring for greater heights, greater things, and hope for the best and work towards it. So for me personally, I would still definitely advise anyone who's eligible, who also has been in this tech space for years, to then start seeking for travel advice, especially from. I remember I spoke to you some time ago that I can't even remember how many people have recommended to you. Like I've lost count. Anything global talent or so. This is the person, because obviously, without us having that conversation, I'm sure we won't even be having this one.